Alright guys, so we got a lot of requests from the poll yesterday to do something on some videos on flexibility. I did a kind of a quick talking about the how to foam roll in at the top of this playlist. I did that one yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about that in a little bit more depth today. Remember that the key to foam rolling is going to be that we want to find spots on our body that feel tender, right? And we want to sit on those spots for about 30 seconds to loosen up the material, get it to relax by stimulating that glutathione organ. And if we go too fast, what we end up doing is we activate the muscle spindles, causing the muscle to tighten, right, rather than relax. So I've got a couple things here, guys. I've missed one, but I don't have time to go back up and get it. So this is the Theracane. Basically, you're going to hold on here, you're going to hold down here, you're going to go through areas of your body, right? And you find like little tender spots. I usually have knots and whatnot kind of between my shoulder blades in this kind of lower region here. And I'm going to find those little spots and I'll count to 30. Now, if you feel any like pain, like it's going to be uncomfortable, right? Kind of. It's kind of like a massage, but with really hard fingers. But if you feel like you have like tingling, you have any shooting pains or anything like that, that means that you're on a nerve and you want to get off of that as soon as possible. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the muscle to relax. We're also trying to break up some adhesions in here. So I like to, just get in here and I'm going to hold onto that knot right there, which is kind of a nasty one, to be honest with you. And sometimes I will move just a little bit. Again, I don't want to, go all crazy with it. I'm just kind of like breaking up the scar tissue just a little bit in that spot. But very, very slow, very carefully, because again, I don't want that muscle to tense up. These are two different types of foam rollers that you can have. There are, like I said yesterday, is that you can get ABS pipes. That if you want to go really, really deep tissue with it. This one is a little bit more advanced than this one because it's has less contact area, right? This is going to have a lot of contact area in your muscle. This is going to have very little. And also the surface on this is actually quite a bit harder. So when I'm doing any type of foam rolling, when we did the calves yesterday, we're going to go through all the muscles that you can commonly foam roll. Before I get to that, the thing I forgot to bring down was 2 tennis balls that are duct taped together. That's for like rolling on your spine. I'd probably do that against the wall. And I couldn't find a lacrosse ball or my big massage ball. But we'll go ahead and we'll do most of the stuff that we can do with that here. What you'll do with a lacrosse ball, which actually, hold on one sec. I had one in my workshop. So, this is just like, this is a pretty hard ball. And you're usually going to pin up against the wall, and then you're going to work through some areas. But we'll get to that in a minute as we go through everything. So, but the one that we do with the medicine ball or massage ball, it's going to be very similar to what we do here. So it's not going to change that much. And so, again, for optimal depth, what we want to do is we actually want to cross our leg over as we go through the calf. And again, I'm going on a search and destroy mission here, right? So I'm going to try to find those. Now, you can also go into a little bit of internal rotation. You're going to hit a little bit of that posterior tibialis there. I'm lying. The posterior tibialis is on the other side. Ooh, that is a very tender spot right there. So we find those tender spots. We can also rotate out to the lateral gastrocnemius, right? There's a horrible spot. And again, I'm going to pause on those for about 30 seconds. Now, peroneus longus, right? These are right here. And I've heard it pronounced both perineal longus and peroneus. It's spelled perineal, but whatever, people pronounce things oddly. Now notice when I'm doing this one, I'm staying very literally on my side. I'm not allowing myself to come all the way to the front. Now I could do that, and that's going to hit my anterior tibialis. But again, I have flat arches, especially on my left side, which is not the one I was working on, so I don't necessarily want to hit that, but I do want to hit the peroneus longus if I'm having flat feet, as well as the gastrocnemius, which is your calf muscles, and I would want to be on the lateral side of it. So that is your lower leg. Now, getting into hamstrings, it's going to be very similar. I'm going to be up like this, right? I'm going to triangle my leg right above my knee, and I'm going to go through very slowly, and I'll find those tender spots, and indeed I have them. It's been a while since I've actually foam rolled, so been busy with other things. So I basically go to my hip, and then back down. Look at my pace. Okay, this is so horribly important, because if you go much faster than this, you're risking doing more harm than good. So it's not really great to try to do that. Okay, so now some people do say that they find some relief by going over the IT band. It's the most incredibly tight and uncomfortable place that you can go over. Apparently mine's not that bad. But remember that, the IT band is pretty much just a tendon, right? So we're not going to get a whole lot out of just working on tendon. So we really want to, if we have what feels like a tight IT band, we want to get up here into the TFL. So to get that one, remember that a little bit on the anterior surface, and I'm going to be kind of right here. So I'm leaning forward just a little bit, and I'm basically putting the foam roller right into this hinge point right here, right? And I'm trying to get it at kind of this angle, so I'm not all the way on the anterior, I'm not all the way on the side, but I'm kind of in this pocket. And when you get on that, right, you can actually, palpate that and be like, oh, that's tight, there it is, right there. So that's going to be your TFL. Now for your glutes and piriformis and whatnot, I'm okay with doing this on a foam roller. I wouldn't necessarily do this on a ball, because again, the piriformis is in there pretty deep, and there's kind of glute medius right there. So yeah, it's pretty deep, and it's also right on that sciatic nerve. And one of the things that's going to happen by you going onto that nerve is that you're going to potentially do nerve damage there, right? So that is my glute right there, as I'm going to use this triangle position. Notice that in none of these, right, this is bullshit, right? Because I'm on a search and destroy mission, and I can't focus on two legs at once. And I'm dividing my weight between two legs at once. So the same thing is going to be here, same thing is going to be on my ass. Especially since I've got that sacrum there, that's going to kind of prevent me from putting adequate pressure onto the muscles in the glutes, right? So, for my adductor complex, I want to get my leg perpendicular to my body. So I'm really, really trying to bring it up relatively as high as I can go. I'm keeping my my foot off the ground. My other foot, I'm just on my toes, right? I'm just on my elbows here, but I want to kind of relax all my weight into that that adductor complex right there, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys can kind of see that. Notice the foam roller is parallel to my body, and that leg is perpendicular to the foam roller, right? So I'm getting pretty much as far in so I can feel it. I'm kind of getting into tendinous tissue there near my groin, and then back out. Okay. For our quadriceps, it's a little bit wonky. So for me to really, really get these into these well, this is what I'm going to do, right? So you can see that this leg is floating. I can put my leg up here if I want to triangle it, but the other thing is my jump kind of gets in the way. So I'm going to come all the way out to this point of the foam roller, right? I'm all the way on that edge. That way, my quads cannot get in the way. I've just got one leg on there at a time, and I move through. I'm going a little bit fast right now, but you kind of get the picture. So there might be a spot right there, right? And I can, again, just like the calves, I can hit that vastus lateralis by tilting a little bit to my right side, lifting my left hip up. I can get the medius by coming a little bit to the inside, right? Most of the time you're going to be looking at that rectus femoris. Now, again, we can't do this on our abs, we can't do this on our low back, right? Because it's going to cause the low back to spasm out, and we don't want that. So the two balls that I have duct tape, which are going to be tennis balls, electrical tape, duct tape, whatever works for you, you just pin it against the wall, and then you can just kind of drop up and down, leaning your weight into it. It's going to be soft enough that it's not going to irritate and overactivate that tissue, but it's also going to be hard enough to be able to get a little bit of release going on in there. So as far as like upper back goes, you could place this right here, right? So you see my butt's off the ground. And even so, I want to have it pretty close. If I go down here, it's going to lessen the amount of resistance it puts on my back. So I want to have it at least parallel here. Probably not too high up either. And again, I'm just kind of on this search and destroy here. Boom. Okay? And I'm not going to go towards my floating ribs here. There's no reason to. Because again, once you, really what we're hitting here is like mid-lower trapezius, rhomboids, and what have you, right? So to get into more of that latissimus dorsi, right? I'm not going to come down to my weaker floating ribs, but I'm going to be just a little bit on my side here, and I'm going to get close to my armpit, right? I don't want to get right into that because there are nerves that run through there, so you're going to have issues with overstimulating the rotor cuff. That's going to be a little bit better to do with a lacrosse ball, right? So I'm going right? And then I'll usually do the other side.